Panem itself is named after this Latin phrase. Sorry, I don't speak Latin. It basically means bread in circuses. The concept is as long as you feed people bread and provide them with entertainment, they won't realize what's going on within their government. The characters' names throughout the books actually fall into two categories. They're either nature-based names or Roman-based names. First is none other than the girl on fire, Katniss Everdeen. For Katniss, I focus just on her first name. Katniss is a potato-type plant that has arrowhead-shaped leaves. Of course, it's interesting that the plant she receives her name from has arrowhead-shaped leaves because she becomes a hunter and uses a bow and arrow. But what's even more interesting about this plant is that the genus of the plant is Sagittaria, and that fits with the constellation Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the archer. Cue Taylor Swift. Gale was a really fun person to deep dive down into. I looked at both his first name and his last name. Most of the sources noted that Gale means to be happy and jovial, but that doesn't really fit his character. And going off of the nature-based comment, one of the things is a gale wind, a gale force wind. A gale force wind is strong, it's damaging, and wind, of course, is not visible. So I think that really fits with his character. But if you want some additional things to compare it to, one of them could be a bird, the nightingale. A nightingale is symbolic for longing after a lover, and it's a songbird. So I think that also fits really well within our story. Hawthorn is a type of bush, and what I love about it is it's used to treat diseases of the heart. Does that not fit him or what? Sweet bread boy Peta. Of course, Peta is named after pita, bread. His father is a baker. That's a pretty obvious connection. But what I really like is that pita bread itself is symbolic for generosity and community. And Peta is someone who gets along with everybody and is a generous and kind person. Bread itself is symbolic for life, and then of course has a lot of biblical ties and references. So Peta being compared to bread throughout the series is also very interesting. But the name Peta, or Peter, has a Greek root, and that is of a rock. He is someone that Katniss can rely on and is her rock. Last name Malark can be broken down into two things. The first part being Mel, which can mean honey, and of course Peta is so sweet. The second half, a lark, is another type of bird. A lark is symbolic for new beginnings and hope, and I think that fits so well with him. Hamish Abernathy. I, again, tried to look at both his first and his last name, but the most important thing that I found, Hamish Abernathy is a direct nod to Ralph Abernathy, who was a leader in the civil rights movement, and that fits so well knowing that Hamish is a leader in the rebellion. I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. When you break Hamish into two parts, hay actually means a hedged enclosure, which can go with big and great. Abernathy is actually a surname that came from Scotland, and it means the mouth of a